This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 5th day of November in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The prime suspect in the murder of physician Dr. Colin Roach is still being questioned by the police about the crime, and he has reportedly been explaining to the investigators how the doctor was murdered. Senior police sources have told news sources that he confessed to the crime, and the details of his confession are being examined. 19-year-old Hilton Oliver Franklin Jr. was arrested by the police early this morning in Berbice as he attempted to flee to Suriname via the backtrack route in Quarantine Berbice. The youth was reportedly taken to the area by a relative who had arrangements in place for his travel to Suriname. The young suspect was arrested without incident, wearing a face mask and a religious gown as a disguise. Following his arrest, he was immediately brought to the city and taken to the Criminal Investigations Department, where he is being questioned about the Tuesday night murder of the well-known physician. Police sources told news sources that the suspect was extremely calm throughout the questioning and has reportedly provided details about the crime. Police suspect that he was assisted in an attempt to stage a scene of the crime to make it appear like a robbery. This afternoon, the Guyana police force reported that a post-mortem examination performed on the body of Dr. Colin Roach revealed that he died from multiple blunt trauma to the head. Investigators believe that Dr. Roach was bludgeoned to death with an object from inside the examination room of his medical center on Duke Street in Kingston, here in Georgetown. The doctor's examination room is located next to his office and could be accessed through the office. The suspect has reportedly told investigators that he and the doctor were friends. He served as a bartender at the doctor's birthday celebration back in September, multiple sources have reported. On the day of the murder, the suspect was seen entering the doctor's office hours after the medical center was closed. He reportedly remained there for hours and was captured on CCTV cameras from nearby buildings, leaving the scene in Dr. Roach's sport utility vehicle, which was found abandoned the day after the murder at Schoonard on the west bank of the Demerara. The suspect lived in the west coast Demerara village and may have been driving the vehicle to his home when he decided to ditch it. Investigators believe he was assisted with the getaway. Various theories about the motive for the crime are being probed, and the investigators continue to question two employees of the doctor who live just above the medical center. It is suspected that at least one of them might have assisted the youth to escape after the crime and to remove video surveillance equipment from inside the building. News source also understands that investigators also suspect that there might have been another young man who was also in the doctor's office at the time of the murder, but that bit is still being probed. A close friend of the suspect told news source that she was shocked to learn of the young man's connection to the crime. She described him as a very quiet person who mostly kept to himself and did not offer much information about himself. The friend explained that he worked at a call center but left that job earlier this year and was not seen much since then. Police investigators are continuing their probe tonight. Dr. Colin Roach's body has been handed over to his relatives for burial. Funeral arrangements have been set for next Saturday, according to family members. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100. Oh my gosh, it's so great to see you.
You must have heard. That's why you're here at GPL. The great news, GPL's 22 for 22.
I absolutely did hear. They're giving away supermarket vouchers worth $25,000 to 22 customers.
Isn't it just awesome how GPL is giving back to the community, though?
For sure. But you know what you need to do? You need to ensure your account is completely settled, while prepaid customers need to purchase credit during the promo period, and make sure that you ask for that coupon. Nobody's left out.
GPL's 22 for 22. Promotions run October 1 through October 15th.
Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. Police investigators on the east bank of the Marara are probing the murder of 28-year-old Mucka Arcadia resident Paul Braffett. According to a police report, Braffett and another man who was known to him got into an argument at a hangout late last night in Mucka. The argument quickly erupted into a fight, and both men armed themselves with knives and started to stab at each other. Braffett attempted to flee the scene but collapsed and died. The other man ran to a police outpost in the community and was taken to the hospital with multiple injuries. He was later arrested after being treated and released. The victim was taken to the Diamond Hospital where he was pronounced dead and later transferred to a city morgue. The police report of the incident said the two men were friends up until September last year, when a misunderstanding over a young woman ended their friendship. Charges are expected to be filed against the suspect early in the new week. A final chapter was closed today in the murder of that British teen 6 years ago. The godbrother of the murdered teen was today sentenced to death after being found guilty of the heinous crime. The 18-year-old British citizen Dominique Bernard was on vacation in Guyana back in 2015 when he was murdered and his body buried in a shallow grave. Today, the dead teen's godbrother Aaron King was found guilty of the murder, which took place in Berbice. Justice Sandal Kissoon immediately sentenced him to death for the crime. His co-accused, Damon George, was recently sentenced to life in prison after he pleaded guilty. The two men were arrested back in 2015 after the teen's partly decomposed body was discovered in a shallow grave in Berbice. He was badly beaten to death. The youth was in Guyana on a 3-week vacation when he suddenly went missing. His relatives traveled to Guyana and joined the search for him. Eventually, as the investigations widened, the godbrother Aaron King and his friend were suspected of being involved in the teen's disappearance. They eventually led investigators to the site where the body was buried. A post-mortem examination revealed that the teen died from a fractured skull and a broken neck. There were damages to other parts of his body also. The dead teen's parents joined the court case virtually today, and before sentencing, they told the court that their son, whose life was cut short, was full of promise and was being trained to become a filmmaker at the time of his death. The father said he was saddened and disappointed that someone that the family knew well was responsible for their son's murder and lied about everything after the teen went missing. The judge told the convict that he should not even be allowed to dwell among humans as he handed down the death sentence. Guyana has not enforced a death sentence in over 25 years. Former Guyana Defense Force Sergeant Keon King, who was charged 3 months ago in connection with a multi-million gold heist and robbery at a Kitty Gold Trading Company, was sentenced to 3 years in jail today after pleading guilty to the robbery charges. The 32-year-old man appeared before Principal Magistrate Cheryl Isaacs for the continuation of the case, and he confessed to the crime. In total, he faced 5 robbery charges. He pleaded guilty to all of them and was sentenced to 3 years in jail on each charge. However, the sentence will run concurrently. King admitted that on the 5th of August at Gordon Street Kitty in Georgetown, while being armed with a gun and in the company of others, he robbed Wallace & Enterprise of $38 million in local currency and $20 million worth of raw gold. The additional charges that he pleaded guilty to were in relation to the robbery of the employees of the business place. They were all relieved of their valuables at gunpoint. In an explanation to the court, the ex-soldier said he committed the robbery because he was the sole breadwinner of his family and was struggling to make ends meet. He apologized to the court and asked the victims for forgiveness. After his sentencing, King was carted off to jail. Some of the money from the robbery was found buried in the backyard as the police widened their probe back in August. A number of other persons are before the courts facing charges in relation to the same multi-million-dollar heist. Turning now to the education sector, 4 of the top 5 Guyanese students at the CSEC examinations are from Queen's College, the Ministry of Education revealed today. The CSEC exams were topped by Queen's College student Serena Razak, who gained 19 grade 1s, 2 grade 2s, and 1 grade 3. She was closely followed by schoolmates Lashia Patois and Zainab Shafi, who both gained 18 grade 1s, and Rashina Samaru, who gained 17 grade 1s at the regional examinations. Rounding off the top 5 is Abraham Zul, secondary student, and Arada Bastia, who gained 17 grade 1s and 2 grade 2s at the exams. Education Minister Priya Manik Chan revealed today that there was a decline in the performance of students in a number of subject areas when compared to last year. Over 9,000 students wrote the exams this year, and the overall pass rate stands at 66.8%.
Whether I'm satisfied or not, I see great room for improvement. I am worried that in the announcement of top performers with 12 or more grade 1s, there are entire regions that are not presenting themselves on this list. And that has to be cause for concern. So there's always room for improvement, and our commitment to you is that we will be trying to get those improvements, not necessarily with mass broad brushes. So that's what I have been emphasizing since my return to the ministry. We have to deal with each school and each region separately and differently. You can't apply the same rules to a Queen's College in Georgetown that you could apply to Aishalton deep in the southern part of the country. They will not work for various reasons.
The education minister said the pandemic and the lack of face-to-face learning continue to have an impact on the lives of students. Still, the education minister said Guyanese students were able to perform well under the circumstances, and the results in Guyana are much better than the results in other parts of the Caribbean. With regard to the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examinations, as students of the Sarsawati Vidya Nikatan School topped Unit 1 of the exams with 9 1s. Queen's College student Danielle Rupchan topped with Units 1 and 2 with 10 grade 1s and 1 grade 2. The new regulations for international travel to the U.S. are set to take effect from Monday. Under the new regulations, only persons who are fully vaccinated with one of the vaccines approved by the World Health Organization or the U.S. Food and Drug Administration will be able to board a plane to the U.S. Persons who are vaccinated with one of the approved vaccines also must provide a negative PCR or antigen COVID-19 test results. During an interview with News Source today, Chief Consular Officer at the U.S. Embassy here in Georgetown, Benjamin Hesbridge, explained that there are extremely limited exemptions for international travelers who are not vaccinated.
There are exceptions for diplomats, for certain air crew, for military personnel. There are humanitarian considerations available, and for people who have or had been part of very specific COVID-19 trial tests.
The new rule will affect thousands of Guyanese who were vaccinated with the Russian-made Sputnik V vaccine, which is yet to get approval from the World Health Organization. The U.S. Embassy official explained that the Biden administration in the U.S. took the decision to accept only the approved vaccines based on science and on public health. He said that there are moves currently to examine other vaccines, but until a decision is taken in that regard, the November regulations stand.
If you do not yet have a WHO or US Food and Drug Administration approved vaccine, you would not be able to travel to the US at this time.
If persons who took the Sputnik V vaccine get the green light from their doctors to be revaccinated using an FDA or WHO approved vaccine, they can then enter the United States under the new rule. The new rule does not apply to children below the age of 18. Children below the age of 18 who are traveling with their parents do not need to be fully vaccinated, but would require a negative PCR test or an antigen test. If the child is traveling alone or with another adult, then the test must be taken within a day of travel. U.S. citizens or U.S. permanent residents heading back to the U.S. are also not required to be fully vaccinated, but must provide a negative COVID-19 test result, the official said. Two foreign nationals, a Colombian and a Venezuelan national, are in police custody after their small plane made an emergency landing at the Madia airstrip last evening in Region 8. The two have been identified as Juan David Casido Villa and Riascos Gomez. The small plane made an unauthorized landing at the airstrip just after 6 o'clock. The police were immediately contacted, and once at the scene, investigators arrested the two men. News source understands that a search of the aircraft did not reveal anything illegal. The Guyana Civil Aviation Authority was informed of the plane's discovery and the arrest of the pilot and co-pilot.
Farfan & Mendes is committed to promoting development through quality, service, and integrity. Customers are guaranteed genuine products, reliability, and excellence in service. Their corporate head office at Providence affords you the added convenience of a spacious showroom with secured parking. Farfan & Mendes continues to offer their valued customers a wide range of genuine and affordable German-engineered equipment. They're leading the way in clean, green alternative energy solutions with industry-leading brands of solar equipment. So visit their showroom at Providence and enjoy efficient and courteous service. Farfan & Mendes, offering you solutions you can depend on.
Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, the government of Belize has sued Trinidad and Tobago for allegedly failing to apply a 40% common external tariff on 3,000 tons of brown sugar imported from Guatemala and Honduras in 2019. In the lawsuit brought before the Caribbean Court of Justice, Belize is claiming that Trinidad and Tobago breached the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, which established the Caribbean single market and economy by failing to apply the CET to the non-regional imports and is seeking compensation for same. Trinidad and Tobago has denied any wrongdoing. Testifying before a 7-member appeal panel led by CCJ President Adrian Saunders yesterday, Belize's Director General for Foreign Trade Anthony Sutherland claimed that his country initiated the case after an extensive investigation. He said the rules must be applied and must be to the benefit of all. However, while being cross-examined by attorney Terence Barrett for the Trinidad and Tobago government, Sutherland admitted that his country could find no direct evidence to challenge Trinidad's claim that the duty was charged as required, besides the fact that the brown sugar was imported from non-regional suppliers during the period. He suggested that the lack of evidence was due to a dearth of information and lack of transparency. Sutherland also admitted that the Caribbean single market and economy did not mandate CARICOM members to only purchase from the regional counterparts. In Jamaica, the Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says the Cabinet will have to decide on the regulation of costs for COVID-19 tests amid growing concerns in several quarters, including from the country's most powerful business lobby. However, intervention to prevent price gouging may pose a prickly problem in a market-driven economy that depends heavily on private sector investment in battling COVID-19. That crisis is likely to flare with a fourth wave expected in 2 to 3 months. The health minister said regulating test prices would be a cabinet decision, but would be unusual given the free market environment in which they live and the fact that those who cannot afford to pay can access free through a public health facility. And finally tonight, international news. A pill to treat COVID developed by the US company Pfizer cuts the risk of hospitalization or death by 89% in vulnerable adults, clinical trial results suggest. The drug, Paxlovid, is intended for use soon after symptoms develop in people at high risk of severe disease. It comes a day after the UK medicines regulator approved a similar treatment from Merck Sharp and Dohme. Pfizer says it stopped trials early as the initial results were so positive. The UK has already ordered 250,000 courses of the new Pfizer treatment, which has not yet been approved, along with another 480,000 courses of MSD's Molnupiravir pill. The Health and Social Care Secretary called the results incredible and said the UK's medicines regulator would now assess its safety and effectiveness. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.